gonna be a straight quiz the fight. Telling me that never can wait. Yeah, I'm gonna get it right this time. Life is what we find the second time around.
Hey everybody, Jesus Christ, the Western Channel Sonichu Prime once again, and today we are reading Act 5 of Chaos Crystal Control. So without further ado, let's venture off to game industry with Planet Neptune, Leanbot's Last Station, and Louis with the guys is Neptune, Bert, Noir, and Blanc. Or is it Blonde? Anyway. And of course, Uzume being the Orange Heart, the Chaos of the Sega Dreamcast. In any event, Act 5, so... okay. Chaos Crystal Control Act 5. Get your game on. Get your game on. Okay. Green Hills, Montana. Amy Rose's house. Monday, February 27th, 2006, 4 o'clock a.m. Mountain Time. The evening prior, while Chris was meditating at 8:30 p.m. before falling asleep, Chris has a thought. I feel like I'm missing something in ensuring SNT, Doopie, and Christine's safety during the remainder of this adventure. Chris telepathically connects with Magic Chad, Sonichu Prime, and Quill, relaying the concern, and as usual, he's beyond multiple steps ahead as an Alakazam with 3 charged touchscreen phones in the original boxes, plus a socket adapter with 4 USB sockets on it, teleports to Chris and hands him the gadgets. Chris accepts and looks them over as the Alakazam returns to Quickville. Magic Chat informs Chris telepathically. I've gone ahead and for the time added S&T, Doopie, and Christine to our phone plan. These Commodore Neo smartphones have all been prepared with their respective needs in mind, with their needed applications downloaded, installed, and with a README file for each of them to read. Plus, I've downloaded soothing mantra and music favorites onto Danielle's phone. I recommend adding their numbers to yours and Crystallina's contacts list. Be safe and good industry, Christian. Chris thanks Magic Chat and notes the names written on the side of each box with the phone number list hanging out of the slim edge of the bottom box. Chris boots up his phone and adds the numbers and sends a text to Crystallina's phone with the numbers. Chris stored the adapter in his bag, and Valera of the Psychic Squadron added a digital protection so government nor evildoers can track these phones or data. These Commodore Neo phones were the latest 3.0 model of the year with 128 gigabyte storage on each of them. Standard cameras on front and back with best megapixel resolution at the time. The typical full touchscreen phone with a narrow rectangle button on the bottom with the Commodore logo on it. That's the home button. Over breakfast at 3:30 a.m., Chris presents the phones to 3 girls and informs them to be sure to read the README file as well. Over breakfast at 3:30 a.m., Chris presents the phones to the 3 girls and informs them to be sure to read the README files as well. The file contained a message from Magic Chat, Sonichu Prime, and a list of downloaded apps and music tracks, respectively. Over a quarter hour, SNT, Doopie, and Christine boot up and take a shine to their new phones that finds the service and signal well. Doopie really appreciated and liked the music tracks and mantras on her phone. You know what? I'll give y'all a little fun moment. This is one of my... I liked Pickle's comic strip. It's fun. I also liked Luann the Greek. That was a fun comic strip. So just pull up one of my favorite Pickle's comic strips. Just let y'all see that. It's right there. It's well, you can read that at your own time, but I like that one. That was just really cute. You can pause and read that. Anyway, that's just aside from the fact. Okay. Come 4 o'clock a.m., Chris confirmed everyone had their things. Doopie found a couple of good-shaped backpacks in a closet while rolling up her sleeping bag. I got a crease right here. Okay. She gave one to S&T for her storage. Crystalina had everything of hers, including the yellow chaos crystal ball, stowed in her bag. And Chris has goods and a red side chaos crystal ball in his bag. Chris made positive all the doors at Amy's house were locked, and there were Zapbud's flowers bloomed in the yard. Then the five of them gathered around with Chris, holding the red chaos crystal ball, focusing on game industry with an unconscious Sega jingle in his mind. He shouted, "Chaos Control!" And the five of them directly teleported to Planet Neptune of game industry about 8:15 a.m. February 27th, 2006 local time there. With a sunny day and few clouds in the sky, and some dimensional tears and spots in the sky around and above the country. They ended up in front of Planet Neptune's Basilicon, a tall, modern structure shaped similar to the Eiffel Tower, but looked like it had been inspired by Phantasy Star Online. Wait a minute. Okay.
Hey, the Basilicon is unique in its own right, you know.
Neptune. The CPU guys of Planet Neptune and Sega consoles tells me. Neptune is the protagonist of protagonists, as opposed to me being the OC of OCs. The original creation of original creations, the original creator of original creators, the original creator of original creations, the original creation of original creators. Take your pick.
Yeah, that's right, viewers at home, and don't you forget.
Neptune fourth wall breakingly announces to all of you, and just everyone in general, I'm the god's blue heart and god of gods, or at least part of, yet I have to work with others who break the fourth.
At least you don't have to do it all the time.
Pinkie Pie of Equestria says to me, "Yowzap." Neptune and Pinkie Pie talking with me. There you go. Anyway, Chris and the girls look around to confirm where they are. Chris and Crystalina check their premonitions for the green chaos crystal ball's location and correlation from where they stood. Wow, Doopie observes, this place is so modern and lively, with few of the various citizens. This place is so modern and lively. She observes with few of the citizens, mages, with view of a certain mages woman with a cool hat is seen in the crowds reading the latest issue of Metaphysical Sciences. SNT can't help but spin her tails to hover above the ground while looking up the tall Basilicon.
I feel like I saw us in this skyscraper in another universe before.
And on convenient timing, the front door to Basilicon opens, and energetically skipping and singing was a near 4-foot-tall, youthful woman with short, spiky lavender hair, a white jacket with D-pad buttons and purple-lined highlights, a purple ruffled skirt, striped knee socks, and the coolest of shoes as she approaches the group of five.
Yo, hey guys!
She greets them, the five of them, and turns to attention. Well, there's anyone who can call direct attention like that, Chris says to the audience. It's a fellow protagonist.
The protag, guys. And don't steal my light, dude.
Neptune says to Chris. Sorry, Nep. Chris says with a smile. Please continue.
I will.
She says, returning to addressing the group with a throat clearing.
Welcome to my Neptune, the gloomy abomination of Kingpin Street. I'm Neptune, the goddess of Planet Neptune.
And then there's like a little fourth wall break. I'm just going to let you all see this as well. Even right there on the title part of the GL page. She's breaking the fourth wall a lot. Yeah. God's Law 12-15-222 Part 2.
Part 2? Now, Jesus, shouldn't that be page 3? Oh, well, this is a turning page turner, yo.
At least my God of God's self-counterpart in 2022 is better organized.
There was no to be continued to merit this designation.
Well, at least we are in the right place, Christina says to Doopie, SNT, and Christine. Doopie says, well, I'm a fan of breaking the fourth wall. Those two take it a bit too far. 3, counting me. Yep. That's putting it mildly.
Tell me about it.
SNT responds, yeah, this is normal for most Christian Christians in the multiverse, Christine adds.
But we can agree on one thing, that
says, right. They say to use it, fads are weird! And I say that to use this for them as well at this point. Fads are weird. I! Most of you! A lot of you! Weird! And I definitely also called Itself from Itself Saga.
That's so weird.
In any event, okay.
Fans are weird.
So Chris and Neptune say, you say,
Including that one.
Neptune points to Doopie.
What are you looking at me for?
Doopie retorts,
I haven't played the Neptune games at all.
can we move forward and focus on the story, please, guys? I shout to them in telepathy.
Fine.
Nep responds. Chris takes a deep breath. Nep asks,
So guys, what the haps which brings y'all here today?
Chris responds, well, we're saving the world amidst the dimension merge in progress.
That is based on who in the sky? Isty's been keeping track of that and telling me that Nep here to get on to solving that problem chunk. It's literally above our heads.
Chris plays a comical drum riff audio file from his iPhone. But humor aside, Chris says, Crystalia and I got psychic visions of a chaos crystal ball in game industry. Chris shows Nep the red chaos crystal ball. Ooh! Nep looks at the gem in awe. The one we see is green and in what appears to be a combination subway tunnel and rocky cave. Crystalia adds, as you can tell, these put out a great amount of energy and power with possible disruptions to certain technologies. Neptune puts a finger to her chin to think. Then out from the Basilicom's door in a hurry is another young woman about 4'8" or so, long lavender hair, white jacket, skirt, knee socks, and tennis shoes. She addresses Neptune.
Neptune, there's a call from you for Vert. She's experiencing issues in Lingbots. It's urgent.
Nep plays it off initially.
Agent, I hope it's another invite to one of her MMO sessions. I happen to storm the castle. Anywho, thanks, Nepgear. Come on in, guys. We'll sort out the works in comfort.
Chris and his group follow Neptune and Nepgear into and up the Basilicom to her pad. Then Neptune approaches us, reaches off-screen stage right. You're right. She's just off-screen stage right. And pulls the card with the next scene. We are in Brack's kitchen, zoomed in on Clarence dressed like Brack as he says, I have bow ties on my feet. I must be walking on my neck. Root-de-doot-de-doo. Stop saying root-de-doot-de-doo, Brack responds. That's my bed. You go get your own.
Oh, okay. How about bling, 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 splitty.
Chris peeks up for the seats in our corner as Brack said, you get your own. Clarence said, okay about the spliggly. Then Chris angrily shouts, Neptune, that's not the right scene! Oh! Chris walks in camera, reaches off-screen stage right, and pulls to the right, revealing shot. A Royal Comfort Inn in Montana, 4:15 a.m. Mountain Time. After replacing and updating his new Android smartphone the previous day, Liquid Shoe meditates, writes, checks the world maps on his phone with time zones in mind in relation to game industry. He thought, and overthought, exploring the possibilities where in the game industry the green chaos crystal ball was. He got the same still vision of a half subway, half rocky cave, and the general area of the country of game industry. He also checked Chris and Crystalina's future past, getting to the Chaos Crystal and found a split path with multiple possible outcomes, with little telling of what the time of day it was and taking Chris's habits under consideration. He crashed to sleep at about 10:30 p.m. in that mountain time zone. At about 4:15 a.m. on Monday, February 27, 2006, at the instant, Chris used Chaos Control to teleport that sent a loud ding into Liquid Shoe's brain. That startled him awake, alert, and sitting up shouting, Giovanni! Why do your grunts have to be so cruel to me? He was certainly having a dream before that little ding woke him up out of his nightmare. Anyway. Liquid Shoe came to and saw the vision of Chris's Chaos Control. His eyes widened as he checked the nearby digital clock. 4:15 a.m. Damn! Chris is ahead of schedule. Liquid Shoe rushed to fill his bag with his notes, charged phone, and cable, and his possessions near faster than light. Then he rushed out of his room's door after getting everything, and ran 2 doors down to A111, wherein Scourge and Fiona were in a flailed cuddle in a messy room asleep. That's a ship. Liquid Shoe knocked on the door and shouted, "Scourge! Fiona! Come on! Come on! Chris is teleported to the game industry! Scourge and Fiona!" Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Scourge and Fiona were deep asleep. Liquid Shoe knocks harder and shouts, "Come on, guys! We have got to get to Chaos! We have got to get to the crystal ball first!" No luck. With a fume, Liquid Shoe opens a dark void portal above his head, then jumped up into it and opened another dark void portal above that, targeting right under Scourge and Fiona. Then only the 2 of them fell through the 2 portals and landed outside their room on the floor with a thud. "Ow! Ow! Ow!" They both shout and then groan as they come to. Liquid Shoe closes both portals and opens the door to the A111 apartment from inside and looks down on the 2 of them.
"What gives, Rock?"
Chris and his group have just now teleported to the game industry ahead of schedule. We have to hurry and beat them to the Chaos Crystal Ball. "All right," Scourge says, while opening his eyes. "Destroy this world. Get yourselves together, both of you, and please, hurry. Not forgetting the emerald. I will go check us out." Liquid Shoe runs to the office as Scourge and Fiona head back in to freshen themselves up and grab Fiona's gear. Somebody definitely have to be working on for him to be able to check out that early. Anyway, a couple of minutes later, the 3 of them are checked out and have their stuff. "Okay, Rock," Scourge says as he hands the bluish-purple Chaos Emerald to Liquid Shoe. "Now, focus on the destination in your mind, then hold the emerald out and shout Chaos Control. That'll get us there, capiche?" Yeah, I'll fix that later. "Yes, I got it," Liquid Shoe replies. "Good," Scourge responds as he and Fiona gather around Liquid Shoe. He focuses on Game Industry and the green Chaos Crystal Ball's location. He holds the emerald up, looking at it with a snowman image in the view and shouts, "Chaos Control!" There was literally a snowman hanging off a window in a nearby hotel room at that moment. I know it was funny. Anyway, the 3 of them teleport and wind up in Game Industry, all right, but on a snow-covered mountain. 8:18 a.m. Monday, February 27th, 2006, in Lowe. They fall into snow on an incline and roll downhill like snowballs on a rampage to the mountain's base in northwest Lowe. Lowe Hill Zone. The 3 of them groan as they break out of their snow shells. Scourge snatches the emerald from Liquid Shoe. They shiver a bit as they look around, and Liquid Shoe pulls his phone out and opens the map app to confirm their location.
"Nice job, Rockhead,"
Fiona starts.
"You landed us in snow, freezing our asses and tails off."
Liquid Shoe ignores and confirms the location. "Okay, Becca, okay. We are in Game Industry, my fellow bad eggs, but we are in northwestern Lowe, and our destination is to the southeast." Liquid Shoe sets his estimated pin and routes the most direct path. They start running on the snow-covered terrain. Meanwhile, in Planet Neptune's Basilicon at about 8:20 a.m., Chris and the group with Compa, IF, and Eastwar nearby as Neptune and Nepgear talk with a tall, long, blonde-haired woman in her green, white, and brown outfit and white boots. Vert, the CPU guys, the lead bots, and the Microsoft Xbox consoles on video phone. Vert tells Nep and Nepgear, "The energy disturbance is disrupting the power grid and some communication tech. Fortunately, we were prepared to help, but my people are experiencing quite the commotions. Has it happened with your people?" Nepgear responds, "I've been observing the dimensional tears in the sky and confirmed that they are only affecting certain people in the area."
"What's mine? Are they blind?" "I don't think so,"
Neptune adds.
"If it's not coming from the sky, it must be on the ground, Bert. Bert, do you know about the Chaos Emeralds? They give off powerful energies like crazy."
Bert thinks, I am aware of the Chaos Gems, Neptune. What brings this up?"
"Well, we just got some visitors, so Quickville who say there's a Chaos Crystal Ball down here."
"Quickville, you say? I have read about it and the Sonichu and roast you before the news. There are even mods I've downloaded from the NPCs and computer versions of the Pokemon." Mods. Vert ponders further. You may be onto something, Neptune. Should the search enter lead bots, I will gladly help in any way.
Right, I'll bring you over lickety spit.
Nep responds.
See you later.
The video call is cut. Nepgear approaches Chris and Christina. Nepgear, yep. Chris, Vert says the chaos crystal ball you're looking for might be a lead bots. They both muse on that with a nod. As your call went on, Chris responds, I had the vision of the crystal ball's location on my mind, and then I saw a lime green X in a circle on a sign off the subway half. SNT's intuition rings as she hears that.
It is right, Chris, that the crystal ball must be there. I'm starting to get a twinge thinking about it. It's similar to when I found a crystal ball around that island.
Right then, Chris says as he transforms into his Sonichu form. Electric! Hedgehog! Power! X literally marks the spot in this hut. Shall we, gang? Chris asks the group.
Yeah.
Kristen and SNT say aloud. Doopie, feeling uneasy, takes her medicine to recover. But I can't run fast as you guys, she starts, and I actually want to help. Neptune approaches Doopie and transforms into her goddess purple heart form. Doopie gasped in awe, like when she saw and felt me in the shared dream. Doopie, as long as the determination is within you, it doesn't matter how fast you can run. And IF tells her, I'll give you a lift on my bike. The experience will do you good. Feeling supported and encouraged, Doopie stands and says, Okay, I'll go too. Crystalina transforms into her rose shoe form. Electric hedgehog power! Nepgear and Kampa stay behind. All alert belong to wire these events, Nepgear tells the group. The venturing 7 take the elevator down. Doopie hops on the motorbike with IF and they zoom forward the others as Neptune flies and Chris, Christina, Christy, and SNT run, all of them heading to Link Bots. Meanwhile, Lowy Hill Zone at 1. Lowy Hill Zone at 1. Liquid Scourge and Fiona run along some of the snowy terrain, downing enemies with homing, rock, darkness, and light thunderbolt attacks. They take out various creatures, including dogoos and buff dogoos, the local aggressive birds, bears, even some Koopa Troopas. They slide on ice, jump platforms, chill while hanging from icicle to icicle. Wild, aggressive ice-type Pokemon also get in their way. They go down sequential hills and mountains. They hop on and conveniently left snowboards and weave, dodge, and pass by attacking foes. Scourge ended up taking the jumps and pulling off tricks for kicks. The downhill trek lasted for tens to hundreds of miles. After reaching the end of the trail, an upset, oversized Abomasnow they encounter. Even better, the Abomasnow mega evolves into Mega Abomasnow. This thing really blocks their path. The Mega Abomasnow launches massive snowballs at the 3 villains that they dodge. All they could do was attack it with homing attacks and use dark and light psychic attacks against it as they dodge. In homing attacks, the Mega Abomasnow would counter by blocking with his arm, getting them stuck in it for a moment before being flung back. Liquid Shoe was at a disadvantage as a rock type. After a few hits, the Mega Abomasnow let out the wood hammer and pounded the ground, sending shockwaves out that they had to dodge. It was at this point Liquid Shoe realized, I'll run out of full restores at this rate. Liquid Shoe thinks with a nanosecond, as Brimstone, that worked. Also recalling earlier as he attempted to use Dark Void as a long-range shortcut, his focus was limited by the dimension tears and he could only open small portals over short distances in the condition. Liquid Shoe opened a hand-sized Dark Void portal with a focus as he reached it and pulled out the bluish-purple Chaos Emerald. Scourge saw that and groaned. As he pulled that out from Liquid Scourge's grasp in his person anyway. Scourge saw that and groaned as Liquid Shoe used Chaos Control with Conversion to convert himself into Ice type and build snow around him to make him taller, yet lanky than the Mega Abomasnow. In his haymaker, Liquid Shoe went hand to hand with the Mega Abomasnow, pushing his fist back. Tap X or A repeatedly to overpower. Then with that successful, Liquid Chew used a massive ice punch a few times to devolve and down the mega bomb of snow. Scourge and Fiona cheered at the display, yet groaned as the snow faded from around Liquid Chew, and he and the Emerald were within an ice block. Scourge smashed him out with his brass knuckles and retrieved the Emerald. "I'll let you in the ice, Rockhead," Scourge said as Liquid Chew ran in place to warm himself back up. "Just don't stun the Emerald again, capiche?" "Desperate times call for desperate measures, Scourge," Liquid Chew retorts. Fiona grabs the snore bones and chucks them to the boys.
Come on, guys, we have to get that crystal ball.
They progress onward and down another snow hill and the spin sign revealing Liquid Chew's portrait. End of Louise Hill Zone Act 1. Rank S. Sasquatch. Quickville, Virginia. 2nd Squadron Base. Monday, February 27, 2006, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before sitting down to talk, Dr. Wolf rinsed his favorite mug out thoroughly, then used a K-cup coffee maker with a filter containing now a green tea bag. He fills the reservoir with water and after a short moment refilled his clean mug with tea. Magic Chan Sonichu telekinetically got a glass out of a cabinet and filled it with water from the fridge's water dispenser, then gently poured it into his hand as Dr. Wolf sat down with his mug of tea. A moment with Magic Chan and Dr. Wolf. Dr. Wolf enjoys a sip and says to Magic Chan, "So, Magic Chan, tell me what's on your mind." Magic Chan sips some cool water that begins. "Well, friendly Wolf, as an overpowered psychic, technically everything is on my mind, but in this instance in time, my concerns lay on the mental health of others. With the dimension tears in the sky and other events, the minds of the sensitive among everyone gets affected with various outcomes. The chaos that results gets very tiring upon I and the Psychic Squadron in restoring order as best as foreknowingly possible." Magic Chan sips some water. "I have been resurrected a number of times and seen everything. I started long ago organizing my group of psychic types and ensuring a safer world for all. Faith is solid, for we know, yet we need the confirmation of details to plan ahead for the many steps ahead." Dr. Wolf considers. "I can empathize to a degree, but I am not a god like you, yet I have talked with gods before. The desire to maintain order as best as possible is noble, and teaching and encouraging others to help with that is sound." Dr. Wolf sips his tea. "If I had a way of foreknowing the problems myself, I would be able to help my patients a lot better. Is there someone in particular whose mental health concerns you the most?" "Well, yes. Yet this one is so close yet so far. I have been caring over them since their reincarnated birth in 1982. They have been living on the 12/18 half of our segregated Earth that is destined to merge with our half of the Earth and bring everyone together. You likely know of whom I am referring to from my future self and your experiences. Anyway, at present in 2006, this individual is conscious of I and everyone else here. But in years to come, their patience and kindness and endurance will be tested time and again. I fear they may falter to inner demons of darkness by the manipulations of those who hate and take advantage of their kindness and high-functioning autism." "They are destined to succeed later on. I hope and pray to them that it happens sooner rather than later. I could do a lot for and with them with all my phenomenal metaphysical and cosmic god-level powers and abilities, yet I can only do so much. Caring about others and reaching out to guide them is quite the struggle indeed, and one can only have faith and hope that choices and actions they make and do will be as fruitful and deeply learned within them as possible. My lady has her share of issues as well that I continue to gently work at with encourage. As much as I would love to see her socially flower with others, I know well that she cannot be rushed without risk to her mental health as well. As powerful as we each are, variously, we can only exercise patience, hope, understanding, and compassion." "Agreed." Magic Chan sips more water. "It remains very unfortunate that at times, in order to result that which is optimal and good, the individual has to endure and suffer to strengthen if they are able and survive. I do not look forward to where I see them in 2022. Yet I keep faith and hope in that they keep faith and hope until when their tribulation is over and they and I are together without any division at all between us. And she returns home to her house and continues living onward with greater spiritual maturity and immortality, and how it will show in her works and efforts. Until then, for as long as need be, I feel a mix of love and heartbreak over her. She that is God of gods, am I to be beloved? He does get emotional, Magic-chan says. Such courage it takes to endure that within yourself, Magic-chan. It is a most admirable trait that anyone could hope to strive for within themselves. Thank you for sharing this with me today. Dr. Wolf takes a deep breath and then says, It's good to be helping. Indeed so, Magic-chan responds. Leanbots, Monday, February 27, 2006, 9:30 a.m. Outside Leanbots' Basilicon, Chris, Neptune, and the rest approach Leanbots' Basilicon, where Vert meets them by her front door. Hello, welcome to Leanbots, everyone, Vert says. Neptune introduces Chris, Kristalina, S&T, Christine, and Doopie. I am delighted to meet all of you, Vert tells them. The interference has grown slightly stronger since our call earlier. I know, Doopie says. On the way over here, I was listening to the playlist of Batra on my phone, then the audio started going staticky.
My brain has felt surges as we approached,
S&T says. Chris uses the red chaos crystal ball to determine the direction of the green chaos crystal ball. According to this, the source appears to be north from here.
Well, no better time than the present to check it out,
Nep says. Yes, Vert agreed. Let's hurry. They all head northward. About less than a half hour later, they find a divided path, one leading down into an abandoned substation trail, the other up a rocky path into a cavern. Between both the red and the yellow chaos crystal balls in both directions, the energy strength is give or take equal both ways.
What to do?
Nep attempts to ponder. Chris makes a suggestion. I propose we divide into two teams and each take a path. That's fair, Kristalina agrees. You go down one path with your crystal ball, Chris, and I down the other with mine. Sounds good, Vert affirms. So how do we decide on who accompanies you each? Intuition and equal division, Kristalina says. I call for Neptune, Doopie, and Christine. Ah, Chris thinks. And then he says, and I'll take Vert, S&T, and IF. One Chris Chan, one CPU, one speedster, and one human per team. Doopie groans. Christine comforts her. It will be all right, Doopie. I will protect you and support you all on the way.
Thanks, Christine.
But you. Christine said that, but I thought Christine was Christine anyway.
Thanks, Christine,
Doopie says with a smile.
You might need a weapon, Doop,
Neptune says.
The creatures in these dungeons are varying.
Oh, Doopie recalls.
I have a weapon.
From her magic satchel, she pulls out a katana blade.
Oh, no, something I picked up on Planet Dolan. Neato,
the Nip says. I'll take my team into the cavern. Chris says. We'll take the subway trail, Kristalina says. The two teams divide and they take their dungeon paths. Yep. Anyway, both teams enter the dungeons respectively. Chris and Kristalina lights the paths with a flash, and the split-screen RPG dashes commence. There's Chris, Vert, S&T, and IF going down the Spelunker dungeon path, and Kristalina, Neptune, Christine, and Doopie going down the Sub-Ed-Spot zone. Sub-Ed-Spot zone, Act 1. Kristalina leads with Neptune, Christine, and Doopie in tow as they explore the winding paths, downing hordes of enemies in turn-based combat. Kristalina hits a lot at once with her electric and psychic attacks, as well as boosting her team's defenses and morale. Neptune powers with her combos and cross-combination in both her human and goddess forms, and so on. Christine creatively dazzles with focused, daggering thunderclouds, dazzling gleam, and using her lightning whip attacks. Doopie works basic. I'm talking about basic programming. A little bit of that bit of a pun. She works basic with initial and leveling up sword attacks and combos. Crystalina and Neptune's navigating map skills and secret route findings put them at better advantages with platform jumping and preventing being surprised by sneak attack encounters. They keep going until they face the boss of the act, a giant cyborg rat. Rats! Doopie cried.
Such filthy creatures!
That was Doopie.
On the one hand, I agree with you, Christine comments. On the other, I'm part electric mouse, so I'm kind of mixed.
Whatever, Doopie says. We have this to exterminate. And a girl, Goddess Purple Heart encourages. The Psy-Rat, cyborg rat for short, uses a laser beam eye that everyone had to dodge, as well as vicious claw swipes, tail whips, and they really had to scatter when they tried to bite. They all attack it vigorously and heavily. Then the Psy-Rat summons million regular rats to defend it. Well, what's a few good, widespread focused thunderstorms if not to down a horde group? Eventually, they down the boss to get massive level up experience points. A sign appears and spins, revealing Christine Roche's portrait. They heal each other with full restores. That was amazing! Doopie exclaims. I've had to put up with Elsbeth and Nitsium for the worst, and now I have slain this giant rat with a final blow. Yay, Doopie! Good job, Purple Heart affirms.
Congratulations, Doopie, Christine says. Thanks.
Doopie responds with a smile. Crystalina checks the yellow Chaos Crystal Ball for the next direction to the green one. This way, she points down to the left of 3 train track paths.
Let's go,
Neptune exclaims. End of spot zone. Act 1. Rank S. Subterranean. In Lowy, Blanc gets Nepgear's message. Blanc confirms the source was in Central Game Industry, and with Noir finding tougher times with her citizens' rampant headaches and trauma in last station, she really wants to get that energy source ratified as well. Meanwhile, Liquid Shoe, Scourge, and Fiona were only halfway. You'll get that in the next part. To the destination. Freaking snow and ice, Scourge shouts. Who said snowboarding was the fastest way to traverse the junk? Ah! Not to worry, my allies, Liquid Shoe says with a determined grin and frown as he shows off his Dark Void portal power and regaining his strength. I did do it to be continued to the next day right here tonight. Neptune just does a fourth wall kind.
Oh, what a good cliffhanger! Will we get the crystal ball before they do? Tune in tomorrow episode to find out what happens next!
Okay, catching up a bit before resuming in game industry. Quickville, Virginia, Monday, February 27th, 2006, 10 o'clock a.m., Psychic Tower Base. In Anelia Sonichu's apartment on the 4th floor, as Anelia got up about 6 a.m., ate breakfast with a groggy Silver Quill. Oh, why do I have to get up this early? Law. After freshening herself up and talking with Silver Quill about herself and her arrangings and her listening to Silver, she leaves for her shift at 8 o'clock a.m. Silver sets to work on sorting. He groans but is jazzed after drinking 40 ounces of coffee. Well, that's nothing compared to what, I don't know, a few bakers, dozen cups of coffee from an inspiration manifestation review. Yeah. Better than when I reviewed Inspiration Manifestation, Silver says aloud. At about 10 a.m., Silver had actually neatly sorted the bedroom closet and loaded the washer with dirty laundry. Phew. Lightning Bliss chuckles. At about 10 a.m. at Sonichu Rosie's house, Rainbow Dash had enjoyed reading a few select chapters from the Legends and Prophecies of Hyrule. She closes the book as Sarah finishes doing another of her daily 50 or so push-ups with very little sweat. Roberta had spent the time listening to her playlist of classic and easy listening while reading through Sonichu's updated Sonichu graphic novels collection to refresh her historic memory.
Wow!
Rainbow says aloud as she closes the 2,000-page book.
I never knew how much Sonichu's real shoes had influenced the United Kingdom's history, or anything about Link's heroic predecessor. So, where's the weed?
Rainbow gets up to place the book back on its place on the heavy-duty book stand on the bookshelf. Sarah drops up off the floor. Well, Dash, if you keep an open body and mind like I know you like to do, you'll tend to pick up something new in the old noggin. Totally, Rainbow says. Roberta pauses her tracklist and removes her earbuds and contentedly observes the two of them.
So,
Rainbow asks Sarah.
when do you think Sonichu and Rosie will return?
Sarah thinks,
Hard to say.
typically they are faster than a regular Sonichu with its Mach speed and getting things done. This was a Chaos Crystal Ball hunt in New York. Lots can happen along the way. You have no idea yet, Roberta says in thought and sagely. After talking about Dialga Prime, Sylvana Rose she rented a room at a Holiday Inn in Quickville, paying upfront for a full month on their sudden value rate on February 26, 2006. Half price. Every value, half price. She got a basic single bed with bathroom on the third floor with a good view of the citizens. She decided to not transform during her stay because, she's essentially part Ditto because of what Graduate had done to her by enchanting her with Ditto genetics. So yes, she can transform like a Ditto, like a Mew. Okay? Yeah. But moreover, like a Mew, psychic type of transformation. Anyway. That's right. By 10 o'clock a.m. on February 27, 2006, she had started meditating and establishing connections with the cosmos with an introduction to the Akashic Records. She actually found and felt content while observing citizens over continental breakfast. Well, at least they are more tolerable than those idiots washed and Graduate. Suddenly gets a telepathic message from a very familiar someone. Hello, darling. Savannah's eyes widen as she hears her own voice that was not of her thoughts. She slips into her private unconsciousness and calls out, All right, who's calling me in this state of vocal disguise? Oh, this is no disguise, I assure you. I am from the year 2022. My future self? That's quite supposed to claim, darling. Savannah Roshi Prime 2022 appears before her. Savannah Roshi Prime 2006 is surprised. She looks deeply into her future self and recognizes a 100% full match with herself. Savannah 2006 asked 3 questions to test her. What was Graduate's favorite food before he was enspeared? Wash had a baby sister who died. What was her name? And if I had to choose siding with Walsh or Graduate, which would I choose? Savannah 2022 responds in order. Mesquite Mackerel, Zelda, and you would choose neither one for they are more foolish and stupid since an engineer driving a derailed train. Savannah 2006 eyes widen. Okay, your story checks out. Why are you contacting me? Finally! Savannah 2022 responds, I offer confirmation and guidance. Glacial and Voss shall continue to be best until after the Chaos Rainbows Link 2006 to 2022 and complete that part of the events. You've revised to rent the hotel for a month. A partial refund is assured. Oh, darling, Savannah 2006. You will pay a small and final part in the event. Do your best on it. It shall be revealed to your vision shortly enough. And what will happen in 5 reviews? You will turn to as would be exiled from existence. Savannah 2006 finds shock. Oh, great. And I just had Savannah 2022 speaks in unison with her, and it says to talk with the prime of Dialgas. Savannah 2006 ponders a moment. Very well. I shall do it for my sake at least. Savannah 2022 nods. See that you do, darling. For now, I bid you farewell and safety with blessings. Savannah 2022 disappears with a flash. Savannah 2006 comes out of her trance with hardly any time passed. Good great! I really ought to meditate well on this, she says to herself. She does, and extensively. On the road from Momotropolis on Sunday, February 26, 2006 to Quickville, Sally, Nicole, and Donnie stop halfway at a hotel at 8:30 p.m. local time and rent a room with a bath and 2 beds. Nicole vouches for Donnie. Nicole vouches for dying Sonichu and volunteers to sleep in one bed with him with a body pillow in between them. Over the trip, Donnie recollects as much of the history as he had learned, which was more than enough. Sally extended the conversation by asking them well thought questions. Sally and Nicole learned a lot. They all rested well, and they checked out and left after continental breakfast at 8:30 a.m. Monday, February 27, 2006, and resumed their trip. At Tails' house after their arrival, Rookie gave Tails a hand with tech repair and modifications. Courtney, Saki, and A.B. talked a while. Sonic had a run earlier and returned, then hopped upon the rooftop to chillax a while. After the adventure in New York, Lady Magique Sonichu teleported Sonichu Prime, Roshi Prime, Lightning Bliss, Sonichu the First, Ross and Roshi the First, Sonica and Telescope, and Grand Elder Magic Sonichu to the meeting room of the Psychic Tower at about 10 o'clock. The group spent some time going into further details of the situations and upcoming dangers that will be encountered, as well as informing Lightning Bliss of her part in the Chaos Rainbow later, and more presently her inclusion in the think tank of other misplaced metaphysical creators and chroniclers in the Psychic Tower base. After enjoying his time and moment with Dr. Wolf, Magic Chan Sonichu Prime told Dr. Wolf of some of the others in the base and the other apartments he and Scribbler will be working with in the Metaphysical Manifest and Creative Think Tank. I also note not all from 2022 and after who were staying at the Second Squadron base. They were analysts, content creators, and or brodies of Equestrians, although Xena was also there in 2006 with a role in doling out certain appropriate punishments to some of the evildoers that attacked during these events. Oh, I'll show them some fun times, Xena said forthwell. Oh man, Silver Quill complains. Xena's here too? Ugh, that one's too open for my taste. Well, Silver, he's working in a special part of the think tank with a couple of others. You won't have to be working with him. Pretty much I'm telling him at that point. Well, all I can say about him is that he can really take and give up punishment, Silver adds. Aw, Sailor Quill, you're too cute, Xena tells him. Don't call me that, Xena. Anyway, I appreciate the inclusion, girlfriend. You're welcome, Xena. She did not go back to 2006, but I like that sassy short mane, yellow pony with the striped socks. Not great that I consciously can't recall her name, but I like her. She was there in the A Bear Story, the Twilight story and events that Scribbler read, just to let y'all know who that was.
Hey, yeah! Honorable mentions! Thanks, Christ Chad!
At about 10:30 a.m., Magic Chan Prime teleports into the Psychic Tower's main room and joins the group. Yay, Magic Chan! Lightning explains as she gallops to him around everyone. Greetings, Lightning Bliss, Magic Chan greets. I see you aren't feeling a better spirit. Yes, I was distressed and lost in New York with no idea where I was. Then Sonichu and Rosie found me, and we went on an adventure for a Chaos Crystal Ball. Oh, man! That got convoluted with the clones of the alt universe for Sonichu, but I nailed that deranged alternate Magic Chan. No offense intended. The machine told me I would be making a Chaos Rainbow and working with some of my friends who are here too. Oh, this is going to be so good, Magic Chan. You can count on that. Crash Chan Prime will be out the next day, and my golden hooves are unpolished and cracked trying. Magic Chan grins humbly in gratitude of Lightning's enthusiasm. How refreshing to hear. Anyway, I have good news and bad news, as the roommate you'll be staying with is not at the top of your list. Oh, shoot. Oh, well, as long as I'm back at my channel with Twink in 2022, I'll put up. Good. I really appreciate those who appreciate their blessings and work hard from that. I was just now telling Dr. Wolf for the same thing. Hold up! Doc's here too? Yes, he says. Then Lightning squeezes with further joy. You will get to see him in a little while, but first, Magic Chan teleports himself and Lightning into Anelia's apartment. Lightning looks around. This is the apartment where you will be staying. Absolutely anything you need, we shall support you with. Here is a $1,000 Visa gift card for starters. Magic Chan hands Lightning Bliss the gift card that she telekinetically takes. Thanks a lot, Lightning tells him with a smile. The moment is ruined as the door to their closet is opened and stuff falls out of it with a couple of crashes. Oh, crud. Lightning's smile becomes a concerned frown as she hears the familiar voice. Oh, no, Lightning says. And Silver Quill walks out of the bedroom for a breather. Seriously, how many bowling balls and first and second place trophies does a lady Sonichu need? Silver and Lightning see each other. Blissy. Okay, Lightning says as she lays a hoof down. I appreciate that bookie with someone from Night Year, but Silver Quill? Well, it's only temporary. But Silver, if you make one 5th-century shipping joke, I'm blasting you with rainbows. Aw, I missed you too, babe. Anyway, Magic Chan teleports back to the beam room to talk with everyone else. Just then, a knock is heard from the door. Silver goes to answer. He opens the door to find Dr. Wolf. Puppers! Silver exclaims. Greetings to you, Silver Quill, Dr. Wolf responds. Lightning turns to look. Doc? Blissy? They share a hug and then start talking on the Christ Chan and Dimension Merge collaboration project. And now, we return to the game industry as well as its Bacilliview channel.
Yay! Really good conclusions!
Spelunker Dungeon Zone, Act 1. Chris, Vert, SNT, and IF had more traditional speedy levels as the four of them run or glide in Goddess Greenheart's case, along with winding rocky cave trails, avoiding guano from the bats above and shooting down the bats with numerous Zubats with thunderbolts or simple thundershocks, homing attacks, or IF's gunfire. Vert slashed away at the beasts in the cave. They jumped from platform to platform, burning on walls, traversing loop-de-loops and the like. SNT and Vert helped with the flight ring shortcuts provided. Along the way, they spot Finn the human and Jake fighting a 10-foot-tall Hydra, an Ouroboros, and a Cerberus. Also, Blocky Steve and Alex running from exploding creepers, and a blue London callbox with the 13th Doctor and Rose exiting the TARDIS. The first boss they found was no mere sewer rat like in the sub-Edspot zone. No, they faced a Gigantamax Alolan Golem.
You got to be kidding me!
SNT exclaimed. Nope, Chris replied. That's a golem from Alola, all right. Rock and electric.
Well, Chris, SNT asked, all we can do now is ship it down to Static Pebbles.
The A golem made an electric terrain and summoned no less than 5 regular rock ground type golems. They used rollout and made an impromptu pinball machine out of the large space's cavern. Everyone did their best to counter. IF shot at the A golem with rapid fire. Vert utilized her raining rapture and other attacks to the 6 golems. The best offenses were between Chris and SNT as they smashed with Mach punches, sky uppercuts, and other firefighting type attacks. They also used Iron Tails for good results. The attacks leveled up with the ground terrain electrified as the A golem used Spark, Thunder, and Rock Cannon on rapid fire that everyone had to dodge and or heal from. Earthquakes had shockwaves that sent stalagmites falling onto the heroes. Then came the combo finishing move where Chris, Chad, Sonichu, and SNT teamed up with Double Boost to smash the A golem into a trembling flesh body that shrunk and fell fate with the boulders that had surrounded him separated and became a countless number of pebbles as the electric terrain dissipated. A sign appears and spins to reveal SNT's portrait. Any remaining defending golems either escaped with dig or rolled out into the caves. Well, Greenheart says to everyone, I dare say that gives us more hard problems than we needed. No kidding, IF exclaims as she reloads her gun. SNT groans from a headache brought on by sensing the green chaos crystal ball. She points to a cave where the energy was strongest. Chris confirmed it with the glow of the red chaos crystal ball. The four of them started down that one cave. End of Spelunker Dungeon Zone, Act 1. Rank guess. Shattered glass. At about 10 o'clock a.m. in central OE, a loud shout that echoed throughout the nation of game industry was heard from Scourge the Hedgehog's mouth after Fiona and Liquid Shoe confirmed they were halfway to their destination. Here we go. Halfway. That one shout caused a slew of avalanches to start down upon them. They got on their snowboards and shred down the slopes at a slightly increased pace. Lowy Hill Zone, Act 2. This was a pure all-snowboard kids, referencing the video game, which that was fun. I actually owned a copy of it on the Nintendo 64, by the way. Type of level, as Liquid Shoe Scourge and Fiona dash, attempting not to be buried under the incoming snow down the hills. They could not attack any animals, beasts, or bandits in this situation, but at A, it was revealed as Sonichu opened dark void portals, gaining distance from each avalanche as they entered and exited the manifested portals. Can you shred down and through half a Loey in less than 5 or 10 minutes? I don't think you could, technically. At the end of the set path, they took one last portal that ended up proving head-buttingly lucky for them. Loey Hill Zone Act 2, rank guess, Shred Wood. And I'm definitely referencing Meat Wad's little toy guitar there.
Oh yeah, that's rock! Pun intended! Da-da-da-da-da!
Toy little guitar that built around us for years to have a good record talent, but not that much or something looking for a lot better than this.
What? Big what? We talked about this!
Sub and Spot Zone, Act 2. Neptune receives a call on her communication device.
What? I get cell service down here?
Neptune exclaims.
How convenient!
With Christine and Doopie nearby, she answers.
And I know if I go with Neptune.
Nepgear is on the other end of the line back at Neptune's Basilicom. Nepgear tells Neptune,
Hi Neptune, listen, I contacted Blanc and Noir. They've experienced difficulties in their nations too. They've tried getting the source of the Sonar game industry at the northern tip of Ninkbots. Well, ain't that a quickie dink, sister? That's where we are, down in a spooky abandoned subway. Neptune, this is not a time for jokes.
Histoire confirmed a minute ago that the energies are affecting the lava flows below your location. The four of them feel an earthquake, a magnitude 1 earthquake.
Why don't that beat all?
Neptune says, Are you alright, Neptune? Nepgear says. The others nod as the quake stopped.
Hey, you okay, Nepgear?
Anyway, Blonde and Noir are rushing to your location to neutralize the source.
Oh,
I'll call you there for further details. Bye.
bye-bye.
They hang up their phones. Another low tremble is felt. Doopie shouts, This is no time for an RPG romp. Right, Crystalina agrees. Well, I had to run the rest of the subway. Oh, my aching knees, Doopie whines. Toughen up, Doopie, Christine tells her. Mom always told us never give up, and your endurance and fortitude are mightier than Earth itself. You took that cyborg rat down and keep up with us. Have no doubt, Danielle. Doopie is aglow and inspired by those words and the light power in Christine's aura.
Well then, let's not sit here, let's zap to the extreme.
Yeah, the other three agreed, and they dashed. Nepgear and Eastward did not care as the tremor straightened as they ran, or float in Purple Heart's case, and portions of the subway walls started falling off and crashing onto the ground. I'll bet the golems around here aren't happy right now, Neptune/Purple Heart comments. There was little time to counter enemies, but lightspeed dashes, flight rings, and homing attack combos were key. They also grinded along and down mid-air rails and downhill track rails. Crystalina gave Doopie encouragement to keep running, even with the dash pads up hills and through a loop-de-loop or two. It was a nerve-wracking and intense as they approached their destination, a cavern with no caves outward initially. No, Doopie cries as everyone looks around. Christine Rochu sees an orange glimmer in a cave wall and recognizes it. Hey, wait! She runs to it and grabs the wedge gem to pull it out. Christine, Doopie exclaims, what are you doing? Christine grunts as she starts mock punching the wall. Purple Heart and Crystalina also observe. I think I found, Christine says as she launches the next fighting type punch to dislodge it. Christine holds her prize. The orange Chaos Emerald. Doopie, Purple Heart, and Crystalina exclaim aloud. The wall Christine punched that falls, revealing an exit to a familiar subway and cavern location's image as they take the exit. As they enter, a pair of purple boots growing in size with their owner as the ceiling caves in, revealing sky. They see that. Christian and his group are seen on the opposite side of the area. Sub and Spot Zone Act 2. Right guess. Shiny. Okay. Spelunker Dungeon Zone, Act 2. As Chris, Greenheart, SNT, and IF continue through the caves, tremors start acting up as flowing lava flows out of the walls and over across pathways. They continue to quickly counter beasts and creatures with their attacks as they run and even flight paths to go around lava-blocked paths. Wild Charmeleon run as the tremors continue, and even the wild rock-type Pokemon, including Carbink and a Diancie, were not too thrilled or aglow with the developing situation. Platforms were used to fly back closer to the surface level. S&T senses and Chris's quick sense, CWC, makes the word quick, spell it out, pronounce it. Yeah, quick. S&T senses and Chris's quick sense were going off as they near a Leanbot's exiting subway station, and the low green Chaos Crystal Ball was in the center of the platform. Chris makes a dash for it, but as he nears, a dark void portal opens, and a wall-shredded liquid juice sets to sink. Sees the Chaos Crystal Ball, extends his right hand out and down to grab it. In a final finish nanosecond, Liquid Chew snags the green Chaos Crystal Ball, and Chris and Liquid Chew's foreheads mate on impact. Wham! Chris is sent flying back into a wall. I'm alright, Chris exclaims as he uses Recover and stands up. Meanwhile, Liquid Chew grabbed a metal pole with his left hand to stop himself. Scourge and Fiona have an awkward moment as they hop off their moving snowboards. Scourge crashes into Fiona, and the bluish-purple Chaos Emerald slips away from Scourge and to Liquid Chew as he exits his board, then snags the emerald. Vert and IF ask aloud after confirming Chris's health and safety and seeing Liquid Chew, Scourge, and Fiona. Who are they? S&T recognizes at least Scourge and Fiona and answers,
They're bad guys.
Chris is aghast when he saw Liquid Chew holding the green Chaos Crystal Ball and the Chaos Emerald and reliving a premonition of a steel-type cyberkinetic Liquid Chew. No! Liquid Chew cackles as he levitates himself with the Chaos Crystal Ball and Emerald both aglow. Ah, Chris-chan Sonichu, so good to see you again. And the Xbox goddess herself. A pleasure indeed, as that gives me more to convert my quartz able body even better. He holds the crystal ball and emerald close together with his focus in mind. I upgrade from Flintstone to cybernetic chaos control, and in a flash of light, his fur of rock turned to fur of metal and circuitry trails all over and aglow. Then he grows, breaking through the ceiling. Meanwhile, up above at the subway entrance at the edge of the box, Blanc and Noir meet up. Blanc nods and confirms, this is where the source is located. Then Noir says, right, let's head down and find out what's messing our nations up. They feel a powerful earthquake as the subway entrance falls in and the road is upturned, but the Gigantamaxing Liquid Chew Sonichu continue to grow at kaiju size. Eat your heart out, Godzilla. Back inside, Scourge and Fiona awe and shout, hey yeah, go Rockhead! And a wall on the opposite side of the area falls, making an exit for Crystalina, Purple Heart, Doopie, and Christine with the Chaos Emerald in her hand. Doopie looks up in her awe and asks aloud, what the heck is that? Chris answers, Liquid Chris Sonichu has just used a Chaos Crystal Ball and a Chaos Emerald with conversion to convert from rock to steel type and adding digital and cyber resistance and compatibility. Circuit Boulder. That's pretty much the nickname at the moment for Liquid Chew. Once he's grown to his maximum height, the dread Chaos Crystal Ball and Emerald are dropped. The S&T sees him. She faster than light dashes and jumps for the Chaos Crystal Ball, and Fiona makes a swift grab on the Emerald. Circuit Boarder steps out of the hole and onto the streets of Leanbots. Purple and Green Heart fly out to meet up Blonde and Noir. What the heck is that thing? Noir asks them. Bert answers after hearing the same from Chris. The others climb out with the remains of the stairwell at the subway entrance. Scourge is lifted out by Fiona. S&T flies out and groups with the heroes. Blanc and Noir transform into their White Heart and Black Heart goddess forms respectively. Well, let's not just do nothing. We've fought larger foes before, Black Heart says. I wanted to take that monster down before anyone is hurt. Gar! He won't get away from us, White Heart says. Green and Purple Heart nod in agreement, then fly after him to take him down. Chris and Crystalina muse. Steel type and circuit type. Crystalina says, with S&T as Christine nearby. Says with S&T and Christine nearby. IF and Doopie also lit in. Circuit typing is weak against fairy type moves, but steel resists that, Crystalina says aloud as she and Chris pull out their red and yellow chaos crystal balls and think. S&T looks at the grayed out chaos crystal ball in her head. Christine Rochew, within a few nanoseconds, recalls from what she had learned.
Wait, they cover the crystal balls in the orange one. They cover the crystal balls. And the orange ones have more energy than... I got it!
She runs to S&T and calls to Chris and Crystalina. The two of them look to the shiny Rochew. She addresses S&T.
S&T, let me...
As Christine touches the orange chaos emerald to the chaos crystal ball, the emerald glows, followed by the chaos crystal ball. Within a second, the crystal ball is full of charge and green again, while the emerald looks about 15% orange.
How?
S&T asks. Christine explains.
The orange emerald and the crystal ball are more powerful than any of the other 7 of each thing, as they are the 8th.
And in the future, from the 7 chaos crystal balls, a new replenished supply of Sonichites and Rosachites megastones was manifested. Those are used to make it evolve a Sonichu or Rochew to a form like their super forms of all 7 crystal balls or emeralds are used, but with less invincibility. To use a crystal ball, anyone is to mega evolve with the power of that chaos crystal ball vastly more so than the single megastone. Christina, if you use your crystal balls, you can go super on about 1/7 of the original maximum. And between both of you and S&T, your demigod level powers up that even further. S&T, I have read the fan fiction about you, and I know about that scrunchie in your quills. You can also go super into mega evolution like we. You're stronger than I, so I give this emerald's energy to you to go with Chris and Christina and take down Liquid Chris Sonichu in that form. S&T thinks as Chris and Christina take those details in comparison with their visions and they find full validity.
You really think I could get super with just one chaos crystal ball?
S&T asks. I don't just think, I know it's so. It's in the history books. S&T feels encouraged. She removes her special scrunchie and hands it to Christine.
Guard that for me, please.
S&T tells her. Christine nods and places a scrunchie on her left wrist with a sense of duty and honor. S&T approaches Chris, Chad, and Christina. They use the power of the 3 Chaos Crystal Balls to mega evolve into their super forms with success. They smile and nod. Let's zap it up, Chris says to them. Then they fly up to fight Circuit Boulder with the 4 goddesses, offline and in person. As they fly, Christine takes a look at the treasure feast she found in the revealed safe box in the subway by the cavern they escaped from. A cased original floppy diskette and a Commodore 64 game/data cartridge. Meanwhile, the 4 guys have been grouped an individual attacking Circuit Boulder, but with little success in making standard effective damage. Purple Heart says aloud as Circuit Boulder makes another massive swipe at them. Our attacks appear to be hardly doing damage to that thing. Greyheart grunts and says, at this rate, we might turn around before getting him down by a quarter of his full health. Blackheart says, what's with this monster? It's like it's got the resistance to us goddesses or something. Whiteheart keeps furiously banging the small of his back with her mallet with hardly a dent. Purple Heart, Greyheart, and Blackheart see the incoming flying trio.
Oh, what is that?
Blackheart asks. Purple Heart recognizes and smiles and says, I'd say offhand, the visiting powered-up heroes. Super Chris Sonichu, Super Crystalline Rochew, and Super S&T fly with 43% plus power compared to with 7 Chaos Crystal Balls. More than enough compared with the power of 1 Chaos Crystal Ball and 1 Chaos Emerald combined. In that instant, an old friend of Whiteheart's appears before the goddesses in soul form, wearing her old gray shirt and skirt with white stripes and rainbow edges, long, straight blue hair, and white tennis shoes, standing about the same height as Noir. Scarlet, Whiteheart says. The soul nods as she tells White, Purple, Black, and Greenheart her message. My allied friend goddesses, I inform you all that I am safe and well within the body of my successor, as prophesized many, many years before. I come to you all to impart further insights into you and give you good power to bear best Liquid Chris Sonichu as he is. And until years from now, I tell you for this, come adore Jesus Christ Sonichu Prime. She then enters, heals, and powers up the 4 goddesses as Chris, Christian, and S&T take on Circuit Boulder with better success. Circuit boarders' main defenses are downloading data and shooting them out of his eyes like energy beams, shooting steel bullets out of his fingertips, converting data into an overpowered tri-attack, swift, and of course Metal Claw, Iron Tail, and Dark Void. The team dodged and attacked him at his exposing weak points, the grill of his mouth, and focusing zap counter attacks into, and using Team Blast, where Chris, Chrisley, and SNT together go into triple boost and sky uppercut him right in the jaw, as well as psychically redirecting his bullets into his eyes. Shortly enough, the four goddesses joined the heroes and with their Commodore upgraded straights and attacks, make further effective damage against the circuit boarder. And then the finishing move where Chris, Chrisley, and SNT focus a Chaos Control Blast fused with the goddesses' respective signature moves and hit circuit boarder's chest and core clean through. In that moment, Liquid Shoe falls to his hands and knees and shrinks, as well as reverting to his alive former self. Yeah, 2 more pages before Act 6. Okay. The four goddesses, Christina, Chris, and SNT touch ground in front of Liquid Shoe. Chris, Christina, and SNT return to their normal forms. Chris steps towards the fallen Liquid Shoe. He coughs as he finds no hole in his chest, but a scar exposed by a missing patch of brown fur in the area. Then he looks up to meet Chris' eyes, and he and the others look down at him with disapproval. Christine, Doopie, and Aif approach the scene. Liquid Shoe slowly stands and laughs at Christian. Chris is not amused. Curious spark trails appear up and down Liquid Shoe's body. Then he says with his typical pompous attitude, I survived yet again against your onslaught and the power of four goddesses. It only demonstrates that I am getting better, faster, stronger. Ha! I will best you at Magichan, then I shall rule thee! He is interrupted with a sudden paralysis. A note on a sheet of paper appears on the ground between Chris and Liquid Shoe. Chris picks it up and reads aloud. If you seriously think you can rival a god or goddess, Liquid Chris, especially after the tests you faced time and again in your arrogance, all I can say to you is that you are really lost. Liquid Shoe suddenly shrinks slowly as Chris reads on. You, like a number of evil individuals, make me feel sorry for you, as the appropriate recommend is issued unto you. Enjoy getting to the nth level of the game you'll be in now. Sincerely, Jesus Christy Weston Chandler Sonichu Prime, the Goddess Blue Heart and God of Goddesses. December 16th, 2022. What? Liquid Shoe shrieks in his increasing high-pitched and quieting voice. Curse you! You will not get the best of me! I will escape from my prison! And in a poof and flash, he is turned into a black plastic video game cartridge. Not this one. I'm just using this as a visual example. Chris picks up the cartridge and flips it over. Whiteheart has a look at it as well. A copy of Breakout for Commodore 64 with art of Liquid Chris Sonichu behind metal bars with a frustrated look on his face. Get your fan art on for that. Artists, to your drawing tablets and pencils and papers. Whiteheart and the other guys has reverted to their human forms. Blanc addresses Christian Sonichu. The others and I have just been visited by a real old friend of mine who was the original Goddess Blueheart of the nation of Kama and the Commodore Castles, Scarlet La Rose. And that's actually spelled Scarlet La Rose. La Rose, one word, but it's like pronounced La Ro. La Rose is spelled, La Ro is pronunciation. I used to train to battle with Scarlet long ago in the goddess realm before claiming and leading our nations and consoles on game industry. Kama and Tar used to be attached to game industry, and Scarlet and Ray Wrights used to be friends. But when Wrights turned arrogant, their friendship broke up, and with the decline of the Commodore and Atari consoles, the two nations broke off of game industry and crashed into the United States in two separate areas. Kama had landed in West Virginia and suffered less damage because Scarlet were new and planned ahead with countermeasures. I had not seen or heard from her since. I heard, though, with the decline in her nation's population and fate, she had perished. I missed her, but I moved forward. Scarlet today, in her soulful visit, mentioned her successor, Jesus Christ Chan Sonichu Prime. Hearing you read this faded note had just confirmed for me that outcome. May I keep this note, please? Certainly, Chris tells her, and hands her the note that I had sent. Christine looks at the media in her possession. Blonde, she calls. Blonde turns to Christine Rochew. I just found these in the safe box in the subway earlier. She hands the diskette and cartridge to her. Blonde looks them over and realizes with a light gasp. This disc contains her journal, and this cartridge is a prototype software with prophecy details she mentioned of long ago. Unfortunately, I no longer have the proper disk drive or a Commodore 64 computer. Neptune speaks up an idea.
Netgear has all kinds of past tech, Blanc, and we can track down that Commodore 64 console quick enough. Plus, History loves history data and stories.
Blanc nods. I will personally give these to Nepgear and trust her with the task. Nep slaps her hands together like she was closing a book.
Well, that settles it then. Another happy ending!
Chris, Crystalline, and SNT all nod with their recharging red, yellow, and green chaos crystal balls tucked away in their respective bags. The breakout cartridge suddenly vanishes from Chris's hand with a flash of red light. Chris gasps. Oh man! And we had just captured them too. With an idea, though, Chris tells his group to head back to Neptune's Basilicom. He would meet them there later. For the moment, Crystalina and her group with Neptune, IF, and Blonde return to the Basilicom with Black Neptune. Noir and Verb return to last station in Leebot's Basilicoms. Christine returned the scrunchie to S&T and tucked the recharging Chaos Emerald into her bag. S&T tied her quills back up with her special scrunchie. The time was about 11 o'clock a.m. Planet Neptune time. After responding to Nate Search's text about 7:30 a.m. on February 27, 2006, Monday, Giovanni texted one of the Virginia base's leaders requesting for personal delivery of the Master Ball with Liquid Chris written on it from his office in Virginia to him in Tokyo, Japan. The trusted leader found the very Master Ball in question and collected it for Giovanni's office, then inserted it into one of 6 holes cut in foam in a briefcase. The leader, with a few accompanying grunts, hopped on a plane to Japan, getting it to Giovanni as soon as possible. At about 11 o'clock p.m. in Tokyo, Japan, the Master Ball was personally delivered to Giovanni. He took it, pressed the ball's button, and increased in size, then opened with a flashlight coming out of it with the Commodore 64 breakout game cartridge with Liquid Chew's picture on it. Giovanni picked up the cartridge, examined it, handed it to the leader, and ordered him to give it to the tech specialist to analyze the data on it. Giovanni decided to hold on to the Master Ball of Liquid Chris's personally. He took another look at the blue Institute Ball gem now on his desk. He gave a short cackle. Scourge and Fiona found an empty house, single story, to crash in and plan the next move.
You were right on old Rockhead's agenda, matching ours,
Fiona said to Scourge. Yeah, he responds in a slump. Fiona continues.
But now he's gotten our emeralds trained until when it's charged back up. We can't go back home until I've got my portal device fixed.
Scourge eyes the Chaos Emerald with a very dim glow in Fiona's bag. Scourge puzzled. We need a psychic if we're gonna get on with destroying this world now. Fiona remarked.
The tough! They're hard to come by unless you can somehow telepathically get a hold of Mac Chad signs you back home.
Yeah, Scourge groans. At Planet Neptune's Basilicom, less than a couple hours later at 12:45 p.m., Blanc entrusts the disc and cartridge to Nepgear with the details. Eastward looks over the disc and cartridge with great intrigue. Chris and his group chill for a while to clean up, rest, and recover. Chris and Christina think and plan with Christine and S&T. Doopie listens in on the talk as do Neptune and IF. Tokyo, Japan, 1:30 p.m., Monday, February 27, 2006. Punchy Sonichu thanks to Empoleon kindly for the surf trip paying her in Pokepuffs till she was full. Puchai Sonichu had some friends and good allies to contact. Reminder in case you didn't know, Punchy Sonichu, his original name when he came out of the egg, it was dubbed Punchai. And he was a real fighter in Japan. And he had his own thing. He fought against the company fighters in Mortal Kombat and even Street Fighter. And he won and succeeded without dying whatsoever. Anyway, Alakazam came to pick him up at some point, and Punchai obviously ended up learning English at some point, and he got teleported to a dojo in Virginia. And with the American name, he decided to be he wanted to be called Punchy. I said punch, 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 punch. Anyway, his original name was Punchai Sonichu. Anyway, Punchai Sonichu had some friends and good allies to contact, as well as the local psychic squadrons, Sonichus and Roshichus. End of Spelunker Dungeon Zone Act 2. Rank S.
Special!
End of Chaos Crystal Control Act 5. Rank S. Saturn. Okay, and that's it for Chaos Crystal Control Act 5. Tune in next time as we read Chaos Crystal Control Act 6. Go forth with that which is light-powered and good. And be blessed. Go Transformers! Transformers, go! Transformers, more than meets the eye. Go Transformers!